Disclaimer: all views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by us are our own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of any organizations that we are part of. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The names and all forms and abbreviations of any entity mentioned throughout this podcast are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.
Welcome to the Terbang Podcast, and this is our pilot episode. And my name is Feroz. I'm one of the hosts. Together with me is Dante and Izwan. And this podcast is supposed to be, we created this podcast to talk about aviation and also basically aviation in the context of the Malaysian aviation industry. We are here to address whatever questions that viewers and followers have. And any questions that we've gotten from before, we'll try to answer now. And at the end of the podcast, if you have any questions to ask, just post. We will try to address them fairly and as honestly as we can. Okay, down to business. The first thing we need to do is to announce the winner of the podcast naming contest. What we did was we asked our followers on Instagram to give a name to the podcast, and from all the submissions that we received, a lot of very cool, a lot of very nice, but we had to screen all of them for first of all their availability, meaning that it's not already taken by someone else. The suitability means that it must be relevant to our topic and also our demographic, which is in Malaysia. And number 3 is basically it must sound cool and catchy. And the person who is responsible for picking the name, actually they didn't pick the name Terbang, but they inspired the name Terbang. And this person's Instagram name is at Giovanni.lawai. Congratulations, Gio. You have a prize waiting for you, and this prize is to be announced. We haven't got it yet, but it will be really cool, and it will be aviation related. So Giovanni gave the name Terbang Siasito, actually. And for those who aren't familiar with the language, Terbang is Bahasa Malaysia for fly, and that's the verb, not the noun. And the name Terbang Siasito, which was an actually pretty nice name, chosen by Giovanni, means fly here and there in Sarawakian. So we thought that it might not be very suitable since we want our podcast to reach the whole of Malaysia and maybe further.
Yeah, I'm not Sarawakian anyway.
Yeah.
yeah. So I'm against it.
Izwan is working his way
to become one.
To become Sarawakian. And we decided to just pick the name Terbang because, well, it's pretty cool and it's simple. And it's relevant to the demographic, as I said, and most importantly, it's available. The domain name is available. Right now, we've chopped the YouTube channel already, and the podcast name, so that's ours now. Sorry.
And the domain?
Domain done already.
Kitaterbang.com. Yeah, we've got that as well.
Yeah, so that's KITATERBANG.com.
Yeah, in English they call it We Fly.
Yes, so it's our domain now, but it's not up yet.
Yeah.
So before we move on, let me introduce everyone to the hosts. To my left, we have Dante Clement, whose Instagram tag is at this is Dante Clement, which is at THISISDANTECLEMENT. Now he's also on TikTok and Dante space Clement, which is DANTE space CLEMENT. Now it says here on the things that I compile myself. Okay, it says here, Dante, that you've been flying for 22 years. And you've served under companies such as Malaysia Airlines and AirAsia. And currently you're flying with a company that does general aviation. And the aircraft you've flown, oh my God, So the first one, out of flying school, we don't cover the flying school ones yet. Out of flying school, your first aircraft was a Fokker 50, followed by the Boeing 737-400 and the Airbus A330-200 and 300. The Boeing 747-400, this is both for the passenger and freighter configuration. The Airbus A380, Boeing 737-800, followed by the Airbus A320, and the latest one is the Bombardier Challenger 605. That's an impressive resume you have there. That's how many hours have you accrued all these years?
Surprisingly, actually, for the hours for the years that I have flying, it's actually little because I've only got about 9,000 plus 9,003, if I'm not mistaken. The last I checked, but my contemporary around my time would probably have around 12,000 now, or even more. Yeah.
So that's not that far behind, but I'm guessing you must have been involved with some other things other than flying during the time.
Yeah, when I was with Malaysia Airlines, I was also with the Malaysia Airlines Pilots Association, which is almost like a union, but not really. So a lot of my time was spent actually having meetings and coordinating a lot of things. So that's the time where I'm actually not flying. So I lose out in terms of flying hours, but I gain in terms of other experiences.
I see. All right, so that's Dante. Thank you very much. And Dante is Sarawakian.
Yes, I am.
Just so you know, recording is done in Kuching, Sarawak, and Dante is a native. He's a local. Okay, and to my Siasito. Dante has been Siasito. And to my right, we have Izwan. His Instagram handle is @fly_craze. That's FLY_CRAZE or ZE. And you've been flying for 19 years.
Yeah, including training, I guess.
That
flying
plus,
school, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
include the moment you started flying.
Yeah.
That's 19 years. And actually, one thing I haven't asked: how old are you now?
Are you okay to share that?
Yeah, are you
okay to share that?
I'll be 40 in November.
40 in November. Okay.
In November this year. So yeah, some will say I'm young. I don't think I'm that young anymore. But yeah,
I think 40 is a new 30. I say that as someone who's nearing 40.
Soon we'll welcome you to the club as well.
And for the we'll touch that one later. Something else later. And is one you okay with sharing your?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. How old are you this year?
37.
37 is very young. In fact, he's the youngest among all three.
Oh,
of
is
us.
it?
And he's done 19 years of flying, and he's flown with Malaysia Airlines and currently with another major carrier in the region. He's flown the Boeing 737-400 and Airbus A330 and 200 and 300, and the latest is the Airbus A320. And that's Dante in his run. Both are, as I understand, married and not available.
Definitely not available.
Yeah.
Okay,
Off the record.
That's Dante.
One is fine.
That's Dante. Oh, he's one.
Yeah, for my wife, I'm not available anymore.
Okay. And last and least, myself, I'm host number 3, Feroz. My name is Feroz, and I'm actually also on Instagram under the tag at @apam_savior. That's at APAM_SAVIOR. Yeah, that's a name that's come from before my flying days. Actually, I during my gaming days, I still play games. And
that's why lah. I've always been wondering what does
that mean, right?
yeah, it was given to me from another friend. So
it's like apam balik. What's apam?
you know sometimes you know like in the Air Force you don't get to choose your nickname or your
yeah.
True.
Yeah, it's the same where I came from when it comes to gaming.
Alright.
So I'm the most junior here in terms of flying. I've only been flying for 12 years. It's because I've been doing a lot of other things before that had nothing to do with flying. I've worked with Malindo Air, and previously I worked with AirAsia, and now I also work in a company that does general aviation, and I've flown three types of aircraft after I left flying school. That's the 737, 800, 900. There's a Boeing, and the Airbus A320, and most recently the Beechcraft King Air. I fly both the 200 and 300 variants. So that's all three of us.
So how old are you?
Please
don't skip that.
Okay. I was able to slide past that one. I'm just slightly older than Izwan by 1 year. I'm 38 this year, and by this year we mean 2024. I don't know when this podcast is coming out. It's supposed to be coming out probably in a week's time. Yeah, I'm 38 this year, and no longer available.
All right.
Okay. So that's our host. As you can see, that with Dante and Izwan, especially their experience in aviation, we've had a wealth of knowledge and experience from aviation training, airline operation, and a lot more, and a lot of stories as well. They definitely have more interesting stories than I do. So why did we start this podcast? And I think it was initially the idea of both Dante and Izwan's to start this podcast. And initially, what was the reason actually? I'm here because I just nak panggil.
You want me to answer that?
Yeah, it's
Okay, I think back then when we are in COVID time, so both of us was furlough, right?
Correct.
So that is when we wanted to do something to just to occupy the time.
Yes.
And that is when I bagitahu Dante, let's make a Instagram live, right?
Yeah.
Instagram
we
live.
did one actually.
Yeah, we did one.
You guys did one?
Yeah, we did one.
Yeah.
Oh,
We did
I
one.
missed it because it's a live, so it's gone, right?
No.
I think it's still there, right?
I see.
Still there, still there.
So we can find this on both your Instagrams.
I think so.
I think so. I believe it should still be on yours. I have it though.
I'll check it later.
Yeah.
And you can go. You can scroll back to the date. Is that how it works?
It
I am
is,
sock med. I'm
you need help.
buta sock med. Yeah. I was a sock med on sock med blackout for more than 10 years. So now I'm coming back. So do they scroll back to the date or?
Yeah, it should be because it was recorded on Instagram, right?
Instagram, yeah. I
Yeah,
think
so it
it's
should be on
easier
your
to find
Instagram.
in my Instagram because we didn't did much of recording. Only that one.
Only that one.
Only that one.
That was back February 2021.
No, I think 20. When we start
No,
getting
COVID
followed.
is 2020. So we were followed 2021.
Then 2021.
February, I remember Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes, okay.
So that is when it all started because we wanted to share the experience, especially for those because we keep on getting this question from our Instagram followers, how to become a pilot, what is the requirement, the regulations, everything. Then that's when it all started, and then after that when we lepak, remember?
Yes.
And then just talking casually with Dante, and then Dante came up with this idea, and that's when it's all started.
Alright, so if you guys want to see the replay of that Instagram live, you can just go on to. So it's more on his one side. That's
It should be
okay.
on
that's
Instagram.
at fly_craze. So if you can find it, it's somewhere in February 2021.
Yeah.
That's a dark Valentine's. Okay.
Nah, tell me about it.
So okay. On to the next one. So the main topic of this first episode is to address a lot of the questions by your followers, which is how do you become a pilot? And I think we broke this down to the path of becoming a pilot straight out of school, and we're going to give you some tips on how, not tips, it's more on advice and the process of how it's done and what paths you can take in terms of your flight training. So, all right, what's up with that? Dante or Izwan, can you? What's the first thing you have to do if you have this? You woke up one day, I'm not a pilot lah. So what should you do? Let's say you're still in like form 1 lah. You're 13 years old. Is it still form 1 now?
Form 1,
School has
yes.
changed.
You still can remember, right? What happened during your Form 1 time?
But
It's too long already.
I actually didn't do that well in school because I kind of
Same
you
here.
know I didn't really like the science subject. So those who were with me in school will know. But so actually at one point I wanted to give up like flying completely because I was also into doing business and all that. But and then after that, um, my friend who's actually my brother-in-law now, he's the one who actually told me like, hey, just get your go do your medical and then let's go to flying school and give it a shot because that's something that we've wanted to do all along. So I think for me my path was different. I think likewise for the both of you as well.
Yeah.
But if let's say I was if let's say I have to give advice to someone who's in Form 1, if you can, then try and do as well as you can in school, get the results that that might get you into a cadet program. That is of course the easiest. I mean, in
Yeah.
terms of financial,
Financial.
the support, and then the job placement after that. So that's of course the number one choice. But not everybody. I mean, even for myself, I didn't go through that route. So there are other paths as well, but that's one of the options lah. I think that one is one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna try that.
Okay. It started back when I'm in Form 4, tingkatan 4. So before that, actually I don't know. I don't really have this ambitious of nak jadi pilot ke apa. No, I don't have that. Until when I'm in Form 4, my school back then, they bring in one group of pilots from Malaysia Airlines.
Serious, huh?
Yeah, they bring them in to give a career talk. So that inspired me because I still remember what they said. You belajar tak lama, gaji banyak. So these two things.
Wow. That's marketing.
That's right.
It's a
Dia cakap, you
effective
belajar tak
marketing.
lama, belajar about 2-3 years, maybe 2 years. That time they said 1 year and 8 months.
Yeah,
If I'm not
correct.
mistaken, 1 year and 8 months. And after that, you keluar, straight away start with 4-figure salary. That's what they said. And me being me, pemalas, I love money so much. So, but I mean, what good about it is actually when you started to have this urge in yourself, wanted to be a pilot, kan?
Yeah.
You started to do things well after that. Because prior to that, you macam tak tahu what is the purpose of me studying.
Yeah, correct.
Kan, you tak ada path kan? You nak belajar, but what is that for? And starting from that point onwards, I started to dig in. What is the subject that I need to master on? Kan, you kena power dekat mana, you kena aim A dekat mana semua.
Yes.
So, I found out one of it is physics, which is the one that I'm really weak at.
Oh, you mean you were in science stream?
Yeah, science
I
stream.
see.
So one of it is physics lah. Bahasa Melayu, bahasa Inggeris, and also maths. Physics is the worst lah for me.
Physics, kan?
But it changed me, Right after that, I still remember I sit at backbencher.
Backbencher.
Kan? Backbenchers,
same
kan?
here. Same here.
Same backbenchers, right?
Backbenchers is-
But
Backbenchers make good pilots.
Make good pilots.
yeah,
That's a fact.
now we sit in front. But after that, I moved myself right in front.
Really?
Right in front, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
So,
okay, cool.
So it changed me, and because of that kind of opportunity that I got when this group of people come into the school, kan, spark your interest. So I started doing that right after I graduated. I started flying. So a few school come and call me back lah. Especially my previous school, panggil balik and give a career talk, and also there's a lot more school lah that come and call me. So I feel, and I doing it for free anyway. Yeah, because
So-
it started my path, kan.
So you just go there, belajar tak banyak, gaji besar.
Kena tipu. Yang dia cakap belajar tak banyak tu tipu lah. Because we are not stop learning until today, right?
Correct. It's the
Yeah.
job that
Yeah, non-stop
every
learning,
6
guys.
months you
Yeah.
are not only learning, but you have to go for tests. Every
Yeah.
6 months, go for tests.
Yeah.
Every
But,
year we do
well,
how many tests. But yeah,
here
that's
I am.
the job lah.
Yeah.
Actually, before you decided that you want to become a pilot, what did you think you want to be when you grow older? Not grow up lah. Don't think any of us
I-
grew up.
A lot lah. it keep on changing every year, every month.
Kan?
And dia tak ada satu yang spesifik kalau budak-budak kan.
Yeah.
Jadi polis lah, bomber lah, you know. At one point cartoonist pelumba motor.
I see.
Macam-macam lah. You tengok MotoGP nak jadi pelumba motor kan. You baca komik gila-gila nak jadi pelukis komik. It keep on changing, but you know that kids dia tak orang cakap apa, dia tak betul-betul urge into it lah.
Correct.
Until that one point, this one's really good lah, I really wanted to do this. It start to change you. So my advice for those in school, you kena tahu apa you nak buat in the future, you know. You kena set that path on yourself and then works towards it. I always cakap kan, kalau you are sprinters kan, let's say lah kita letak dua orang, seorang ni dia lari very fast, another one dia cannot lari fast but they walk very slowly. But if any one of them got a destination to go, the one yang slow pun boleh sampai.
Betul.
And those yang lari laju, kalau they got no destination, they just waste the energy only. Just keep on running without doing anywhere.
That's a good analogy.
Yep. True.
Okay, that's
So it's where it all started lah. And then tell you, I didn't apply any university, any beasiswa, scholarship. No, I didn't apply.
so this was
That-
you were laser
committed.
focused on this part.
Yes, committed. I only applied for UP. They want me sekolah paksa apply. Then I apply lah. Dia cakap matric I didn't apply at all.
I see.
Any other scholarship that time, you know, I was SBP kan, sekolah berasrama penuh kan, Petronas lah macam-macam kan. I didn't apply any
I see.
because I don't want.
You already
You
set
know,
your sight
I already
lah on this.
set it already.
Okay.
And then
alright.
I'll take a risk. It's either this or no.
Okay, maybe. But after you got your after you finished SPM, you got your results. How long after did you get? So you were selected, is it? For
Yeah,
that program?
I sent the applications and actually it's very stages. Started with psychomotor, if I'm not mistaken, they call it for psychomotor test. And then about 2 weeks after that, if you pass, they bring you in for psychometric test. And about 1 month, they give you a result. If you pass, then they call you in for the interview with the management of the airlines. And if you pass the interview, they give you a letter, they bring you into the medical center and do a health checkup. So overall, it take about 4 months.
So
or
that's
5
the
months.
selection process lah.
Yeah.
But like from Abis SPM until being called for the selection process, how long did you have to wait?
I applied right after I got my SPM result. Not long lah, I think.
Few
not
months?
long. Few months, less than a year lah. Less than a year.
And
This-
from the time they call you until you enter flying school?
Yeah.
How long?
The
is that?
selection process, if I'm not mistaken, it take about 3-4 months.
I
And then
see.
after he was chosen, I think about 1 month after that, less than a month after that.
When was
they-
this? 2000.
Yeah, you must have got your result.
2007.
in-
I graduated 2007. I got into flying school 2005.
That's a good time.
2005. Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Okay,
correct.
That's a good time.
2007 is your flying school graduation. Aku dah like, wait, I need 1 year
2007 I
younger than me.
graduated. Yeah.
So
That's a good
2004 you finished SPM.
Yeah,
and
SPM 2004.
2000.
2005, I got into the flying school end. 2005 year end.
then
Yeah.
2007 you
Upcycle.
are fully fledged frozen ATPL pilot.
Yes, November 2007, I reported in the Malaysia Airlines. Started my
Okay.
737 program.
Alright.
And I caught on what you said just now about you wanting to go into business. But I'm going to save that for the end later because I want to focus on the training part.
Okay.
So that is how, yeah, he's one got inspired to become a pilot, and Dante was inspired because
I've
your-
always wanted to do it lah.
Actually, at what age did it like click that is
Oh,
good?
very young. Like flying, I've always wanted to become a pilot. Like always, like since young. That's always been my.
Like any flying.
The
or
only
specific
time
flying?
that actually like I kind of give up is because they always say last time you're gonna become pilot if you're wearing spectacles.
Yeah, I know that one.
So
Yeah.
that's
I'm the
time
only
where,
one who didn't wear any spectacles.
Yeah, I know that one.
I got exceptional old, you know. So that was a kind of like the deal breaker lah. So at that time I was like, okay lah, tak ada harapan lagi. So you know.
Yeah, but speaking of which, I think we got a lot of question of this, right?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
kan?
A lot. Yes,
Can
every
you
time.
become a pilot when you wear a spectacle? I think straight away
Yes.
you go and shoot it.
That is now yes, no issue. I think the CAD is very clear on that.
Yeah.
In fact, they also have specific eye tests. Like if they feel like okay, you need to go for certain eye tests check during your medical, they will do that. So I think now they're not as strict as before. Maybe during the early days, what happens because like when you have to use your mask, for example, the oxygen mask, there is a thing there that if you're wearing
Yeah.
spectacles, that it doesn't allow you to put on the mask.
Yeah.
So that's like one of the issues lah. But all these things eventually they open up
Mm-hmm.
and accepted the fact that
Yeah lah. And
you
then
have
that
no
time
choice.
also all the classic aircraft they use all this needle kan.
Yeah,
Very difficult to
the-
read kan.
yeah.
Nowadays no
Oh, the
more.
analog
Nowadays,
aircraft, I see.
nowadays no more.
All the gas gauge,
Yeah,
gas gauge aircraft,
steam
gauge.
gauges.
Yeah. So what Dante was saying, CAD is short for Civil Aviation Directive, and these are directives written by the CAM, which is the Civil Aviation Authority of Malaysia. So we're gonna address them as CAM or CAM, or some people say CAAM, and I have it on good authority. Actually, I've experienced it myself that even within the organization, they have different ways of saying it. Some of them say CAM, CAAM, or CAA Malaysia. So they are the ones who prepare the CADs, and the CADs govern every aspect of civil aviation in Malaysia. These are derived from the it's from the Malaysian Civil Aviation Regulations.
It is from the CAR. So the directives are like something like
It's
the
like a more detailed version.
yeah,
of-
because
yeah.
CAR is general, then the
Yeah.
CAD is more the specific part, and then they also have the CAGM, which is a guidance material, which actually tells you specifically what they mean when they say so and so and so
Yeah.
things. I think CAM or CAM has done a really good job in coming up with the CADs and CAGMs, because now it's very clear. Previously, in Malaysia, we don't really have proper guidelines, especially when it comes to simple things like this,
Correct.
where it involves pilot licensing, what is involved, what is the requirements. So there's a lot of grey area. Nowadays, it's very straightforward. The authorities have done a really good job in making that everything more standardized and easy for people to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to find any references to CAD or anything to do, in fact, everything about licensing, everything about flight training, if you want to go into more detail, you can visit the CAM's website at www.cam.gov. I
Yeah,
think.
we can put a link down here.
Yeah, we'll yeah, the link is right here. Okay, and yeah, so that's what Dante was talking about. So everything that a pilot does in Malaysia who is a civil aviation pilot is governed by these directives. And what he was talking about, the challenges of wearing glasses and donning on masks is the pilot oxygen mask, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
So these are masks that pilots are drilled to put on whenever the oxygen level is low, and also which can also happen during a fire, right? And also
Fire, smoke.
Yeah, fire, smoke, or what do you call it?
Decompression.
Depressurization. Yeah,
Decompression,
decompression. Yeah. So that's
so
that was the hamper, lah.
that was the thing that kind of threw me off, and so after that I wanted to become a racing driver.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah,
that one
yeah,
okay
alright.
with the glasses.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, you're into Formula One, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I already scouted the school, what school to go to for racing and stuff.
Oh,
like
is
that.
it?
Yeah. Actually, even in my SPM, not SPM, like school leaving certificate, because the teacher also give up hope already.
Oh, right.
Because I was in science stream, all my science subject I didn't bother to. The only science subject that I passed actually is physics.
Okay.
That I passed. The rest I
Okay.
didn't bother at all because I didn't really like. In fact, I wanted to go into art stream because I wanted to learn about business. So my class teacher, which was very very kind of her, actually put that in my school leaving certificate. Minat dalam lumba kereta and something like that lah. I can't remember exactly, but that was really cool.
That's
I
sweet,
was the only
yeah.
one who had that in my
That's very
school
sweet.
leaving certificate. Wow, okay. Yeah, so that kind of threw the whole thing off lah. But yeah, so my friend, who's my brother-in-law now, who's the one who has been pushing lah, because we have always wanted to do flying since
I see.
primary school, and during that time that time I was actually already in college. I was doing business foundation,
Oh, okay.
and then he said, "Hey, come lah, just follow, do medical. If you pass this medical, then we go flying school." So that was the make or break lah. So we did medical pass. So okay, go to flying school lah.
And
That's how I
at
know.
what age was this?
This was after I left school, the year after that.
Oh, so you're about 18 or 19? Should be
18?
late 18s, right? Because
18?
you've got your results and you've already started
Yeah.
college. lah.
Yeah, yeah.
So around the same age, lah, both of you, right?
Mm.
Pretty much the next year after getting your results.
Yeah.
Yes.
But you say you managed to go to the college, right?
Yeah, so my results came out early the year. 2001, 2002, 2000, SPM result early 2002. I was already in college. 2 SEMs I did
2002.
college 2002. And then after the second SEM, I went to flying school. September 2002. That's when I went to Malacca, MFA.
MFA, Malaysian Flying Academy
Yeah.
in Malacca.
Where are you in 2002?
I was Form 5.
2002.
Sorry, I was Form 4 2002, yeah.
Oh.
Form 5, I did SPM 2003.
Ah.
You were from five.
He was to
SPM
form
2004.
Yeah.
2004.
He was
sorry.
PMR.
Yeah, 2004 SPM.
2002 is PMR for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, alright, right. Yeah.
PMR. That's Form 3 lah. They don't have that anymore, right?
No, I don't think so.
Penilaian
No, they changed the
Menengah rendah. Dante
Yeah.
time is SRP, right?
No, mine was PMR.
Okay,
Thanks, man. Yeah.
So the conclusion is, can they join a pilot program with the spectacles? Using the spectacles?
Now there's no issue. For the airline cadet program, there is still some stipulation like what is the. But I think now it's more relaxed as long as it's corrected. If I'm not mistaken. So it's no longer like before. They were really strict about it. Nowadays, I think there's no issue lah.
Any limitations? I mean, how high your power can be?
There is stipulated in the CAD.
It's pretty much when you're
Yeah.
legally blind, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, corrected means if you wear glasses and
Corrected
you can
lenses,
correct
yeah?
it to.
Yes, glasses or contact lens, either one. That's fine.
As long
Yeah.
as when you wear glasses, it can be corrected to degree. I think it's 6 by 6 meters or 2020 in the US usage is feet.
Correct.
And now let's go into what is actually the process of becoming a pilot. We've known now generally you have to do decently in your SPM. I think the CAGM now says that you need 5 credits in your SPM, including Bahasa Malaysia, English, mathematics, and if you're science stream, you need the rest to be credited in two science subjects. And if you are not science stream, I think it just has to be science, kan?
Yeah, science.
And one more I can't remember. I just go
I
ahead
think
and
it's
check out
4,
the CAGM. Oh,
I think it's 4. 4 only.
Non is 4.
Bahasa Malaysia, English, Math and Science or Physics.
There you go. So yeah, Dante is just fact checking us. So while he does that, I'd like to preface that the things that we advise here may or may not be accurate. To get accurate information, you should check out the CADs and the CAGM on the CAM's website that we've linked just now. Might be here right now. We don't know. I don't know. So
I think might have changed as well. Because we are talking about things that
Correct.
20 years past already. For
Yeah.
Dante, it's about 30
Correct.
years past when he started
Yes.
flying school.
Oh yeah, mine is a lot has changed.
Yeah.
Totally different from what
Yeah,
when we
yes,
went.
because
Yeah.
I keep thinking that our age gap isn't so far apart, but the time you started training was much earlier than me.
Yeah, that's why. I was surprised.
So
He
there
looked
were-
so young.
Yeah.
Thanks guys.
Welcome. Dinner on you, man.
Yeah. That's on you, right? Thanks, bro. Yeah. So during the break, we had a break just now. Dante said that there was a bit of difference between the time that he started flight training and the time that we started flight training. That is, if you once you finish your SPM and you wish to start your flight training in a flying school in Malaysia, the first thing you have to do is write to CAM. We won't give you the details where you can find that in the CAGM. You actually have to give some details. I think you have to include your SPM results or your identification, all these things, and write to request for permission to commence flight training in a approved training organization in Malaysia.
Is this before you got your before you apply for flying school, is it?
Yes. During my time, because I was a private student, this was 2000. I applied 2011.
Okay.
So I had to write back then to the Department of Civil Aviation, write to the Director General. Then I think I got a reply, because back then it was completely hard copy, snail mail. You had to wait for almost a month to get a reply. Then they will send you a letter that allows you to start your training in Malaysia. So I think it was different for you because you were a cadet, right?
Yeah, I didn't do all that. I
Yeah.
think the airlines does it for us.
Yeah, during my time, the flying school actually did it for us.
The flying school. So
yeah.
you apply for the flying school first,
Yeah, we applied, we got in, and then after that, they obviously saw my results, and then I had to do this maths and
An
physics.
entrance exam, is it?
Yeah, like a test lah,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
exam, like very simplified
Quiz
test.
lah.
But
Was it the July paper? No, right? No, right?
July.
You know what is July paper or not?
no, what's
It's something like if you fail your SPM, then you have to retake the SPM on July.
No, it's
Oh,
not that, right?
It's by the flying school.
Oh, by the flying school. Oh.
By the flying school.
Oh, okay,
MFA.
okay.
So you pass this, then you can continue with your course lah.
Okay.
So yeah. So I had to go through that, and if let's say you were from the art stream,
Mhm.
then you have to go through this process. It's
Because you
actually
don't
not
have science, right?
Yeah, it's basic science and basic maths lah.
It's an in-house thing lah.
It's an in-house thing, but I think that was a requirement by DCA then.
I
So
see.
yeah, that was probably the start of it lah. But if you check on the Civil Aviation Directive CAD-1 for the pilot licensing, the requirement here states that you have to pass SPM or equivalent qualifications with credits in 5 subjects, including English, mathematics, and a science subject in one single type of examination. So that means 5 subjects, including English, maths, and science, and a science subject. So can be what? I don't know.
Biology.
Physics,
So
biology.
what
physics,
if you're not
biology.
a science stream? Then you have more. Isn't there just one science subject?
I
if you're
think
in?
got science stream and then science technical. Kan?
So
There's
science
something
one-
because science stream you take biology,
science stream you have the physics, biology,
physics, biology,
chemistry,
kimia.
chemistry, yes.
and
But
maths.
but if you're
And
non-science
maths,
stream,
non-science stream is
No,
science,
science,
general
yeah,
science,
yeah,
general science.
correct.
then what's the second credit? The last credit.
So the other credits can be from any other subject.
I
lah.
see.
So
As
you
long
have
as
the
the
3, then
five
you have
with those
2
four.
from maybe like
Maths and maths.
geography ke,
History.
Bible studies ke, Islamic studies ke.
Any lah, any subject as long as you have
that's
5
what
credits
I'm- Yeah, that's what I'm reading from this lah. It's in the CAD one. It's there, and then if you let's say you don't have SPM kan, let's say you went to international school ke, or you studied in London ke, for example, then it has to be, you can use a degree, for example, which is recognized by MQA lah, the Malaysian Qualification Agency, and you have to have a CGPA of 3.0 or above.
Cumulative grade point average must
Yep.
be 3 and above.
Or what I can suggest is if all of you really interested to become a pilot, maybe you can contact any of the flying school and ask their requirements.
Yes, that would be the best because that's the most updated. Not only flying school, but also if you can get in touch with the authorities, CAM, they I think they have all the latest information lah. Yeah.
I think they have a FAQ section on the website that simplifies the answers based on the CAGMs and CADs.
Yes.
So that's the very first step. You need to get permission to go to a flying school in Malaysia. Now that we mentioned flying schools, how many flying schools are there in Malaysia right now as of 2024?
I know there are. Well,
The
Melaka is
pioneer
still
one,
there.
Malacca, right?
Melaka,
Pioneer, right?
Yeah.
Will always be around. I think.
Longest
Yeah.
running one,
Malaysian
I think.
Flying Academy. I went there before.
Yeah.
After the group of Malaysia Airlines pilot came for this career talk, and then our school also organized the trip to Malaysian Flying Academy.
I see.
So I'm one of the guy who
will
push it. Push the things.
You're not MFA.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
I
So
didn't know
we
that.
went there.
You were MFA.
I think you should be there lah. It's about 2004.
No,
2003 or 2004?
2002 I was there. 2004 early I left already. I finished 2003, but 2004 I was waiting for one paper because I had to receive one paper. Yeah.
Okay.
So early 2004 I kind of left already. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah lah, I went there
What school
for-
did you go to?
Langkawi.
Okay.
the
Langkawi
sixth
still,
batch.
They're still operating, right? HMA.
Yeah, still. I just
Yeah.
run with one of my co-pilot. His best batch 60.
60.
Yeah, I'm batch 6 man.
Yeah, I'm
My God, times
A4.
It's like the
go and
paper.
see what's the batch now. Private
Yours,
A4.
I was in MFA batch A41.
Oh, you are batch A?
4.
Wow.
You were? A41.
41, bro.
Yeah, see?
We were.
So much difference already. Now I don't know lah.
What's
Maybe
that, 30?
A100.
Yeah. A lot already. Right?
37 batches apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In how many years? Not far, no?
Yeah. So that's MFA in Malacca, HM
HMA,
Aerospace
Yeah.
in Langkawi.
The one in Ipoh is still running, right? Bats.
Bats Aviation, I believe right now is still running.
Then
Yeah, the one next to
Johor.
MFA now.
Oh, yeah.
IATAS.
IATAS.
IATAC. Sorry.
ITAC, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's another one quite famous now in Johor.
Yeah, AATA.
AATA. Yes.
So we know at least 5.
Mm.
They may or may not be more or less. Yeah.
But
so
that is flying school. There's a lot of flying club as well, right?
Not as much as before. I think not as many
Okay.
as before. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think now. I'm sure you guys heard about Air Adventures after
Yeah.
the recent incident.
Yeah.
So that's one. I think Royal Selangor Flying Club is no longer operating.
Yeah, I don't think
It's
that
still
one.
around, but I'm not sure what's the status.
I think a lot of them have joined Air Adventures already.
Yeah, it sounds like that.
Oh, speaking of which, we forgot to mention Layang Layang, which is also in
yes.
Ipoh and also in Kota Kinabalu.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
The
Yes,
one
so six.
in Borneo, but Bintulu, right? You got one, right?
Oh, there
Yeah,
was.
that's history now.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
is it?
is
Okay.
a black mark. There's a black mark.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
not
yeah.
go there.
Okay.
What? Oh, sorry, what? No. There was never a flying
Yeah,
school
yeah.
in Bintulu.
I might be talking about something else.
Yeah,
that's a topic for another day. There was actually, but yeah. So,
But there's also other flying schools. Last time there was flying schools approved outside of Malaysia as well.
Right.
In fact, when we were looking at flying school during my time, we were actually thinking of looking at flying schools outside,
Australia.
like in Australia, because it's cheap.
Yeah, Philippines.
I think, Philippines was definitely one of them, but I didn't look into that one lah. But Australia, the one when we were looking at last time was like less than 100,000 for
Ringgit,
CPL.
Those
Yeah.
days.
for CPL only,
Yeah.
is it?
Those days when MFA was 150,000 ringgit.
This
Yeah.
was in 2002 lah. You're talking
2002,
about,
yeah, correct.
How much does it cost now?
Half
Oh,
a
okay.
mil.
Yeah, we're gonna touch that subject. I know a lot of people want to hear about that. So, but what would be a determining factor apart from cost when you're choosing like a local flying school and a flying school that's overseas? If you want to have a Malaysian license,
Actually, you can do flying anywhere. You can get a US license or EASA license, but when you come back, then you're going to spend a bit more money to do
convert.
all the papers again. And also, if I'm not mistaken, 35 hours on twin engine, something like that. You have to do some flying and sit for all the papers. So, I mean, if you know, that might be a cheaper alternative, but most of the time it's not. It's actually more expensive.
Yeah.
yeah,
But yeah, there's many routes actually. There's many routes. In fact, you can even go to a flying club, get your PPL, do 500 hours, and sit for your CPL. That's an option also. But yeah, I know it doesn't. It
Yeah.
depends on how you want to do it. Because I know in the States, right, they have flying schools like flying academies like what we have in Malaysia, where you do ab initio full programs and all that. But there are also people who actually fly like, you know, they buy their own aircraft because it's cheap in the
casually
US,
lah.
right? So casually build hours with their PPL and then slowly take the papers. So there are many options. Just that you have to see what is the best for
Shortest
you.
route or longest route, cheapest route or most expensive route lah.
Correct. That's right.
that'll be up to your how much time you want to spend in flying school and how much money you can afford to spend like
Correct.
flight training. So, as far as I understand, if you want it to be the most straightforward and shortest, it's still just straight up joining a flying school, right?
It is,
Yeah.
but also the most expensive.
Of course, yeah. That's why.
What
there's the
about
balance.
the age limitations? For you
Age
to
is age actually, yeah, there's a lot of people ask me this actually, but I always tell them what kind of ROI are you looking, so your return on your investment that you're putting, because right now flying is not cheap, right? If you're
Yeah.
going for a full-fledged ab initio program in a flight school, you're looking at almost $500,000 or even $500,000.
So this is like from zero to airline ready.
Yeah,
ATPL, frozen ATPL.
frozen ATPL,
Frozen
Yeah, that's what we
ATPL,
call it in
yeah,
Malaysia.
you
It's
know.
frozen ATPL. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a lot of money, and if you were to start, let's say at a later stage, let's say you start at my age now, 40, then you can work up to 60, 65 now in Malaysia. So that gives you 20, 25 years. Can you recover that money or not? 25 years.
Yeah.
Maybe for some, they already save up that much of money to go to flying school, and they said, okay, that's fine. I'm willing to burn the money just because I want to do this job. So yeah, if you are willing to take that risk, then and one thing that you have to always remember is that when you come out from flying school, there's no guarantee job.
Yes.
One good example I give you, even for cadet program, right? Look at what happened during COVID.
Yeah.
Look at what happened to the cadet program during COVID, right? Everybody stopped, and
For years,
a lot of them didn't have a job also. So yes, even though they're starting to bring them back into the system now and all that, it's never a certain path when it comes to pilot. There's always an upcycle. I was lucky when I went in after flying school and I started with the airline. It was the upcycle, so it was like really
During my time as well.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
during my time.
that time was perfect.
Yeah.
But you can't plan this thing. Like during COVID, I did mention in my Instagram that if you go to flying school now during COVID, when you come out, you'll be like ready lah.
Yeah.
Because that's when everything's gonna start picking up. Which is in a way
Which is
is
now,
true,
right?
which is happening
It's
right
now,
now.
right?
It is right now.
It's
Yeah.
now.
But there are still people who still can't get a job.
Correct.
Fresh from flying school. So it's not a guarantee, but
But I guess the one yang cannot go into the airlines now is not because of the job opportunity, but training is a lot of backlog.
yes,
A lot of
correct.
airlines, I heard this,
Correct.
training backlog, because we have limitations in simulator, the training, the training, the instructors, everything,
How
right?
many instructors you have, right?
So they have to slow it down because backlog.
Yeah, so that's one thing also, you see, and but yeah, the shortage is here definitely. It's a worldwide thing. You look at in the States, it's crazy, man. Like they're paying top dollar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So if you're wondering if you can find a job or not, it's a mixture of timing, luck, and most importantly, I think it's how you carry yourself, lah. But that applies with any job. So right now it's an upcycle, but yeah, there are a lot of caveat factors that may affect your job opportunities now, because like Dante was saying, the cadet programs were implemented before COVID are now only starting to pick up again, and those who were involved in the cadet programs during the COVID time, I think cadet programs are no longer free, right?
No, I think
It's
for
not
most
free
airlines
since those
now you
days,
have to,
but
yeah.
last time airlines pay it upfront for you, and then you have to pay them back monthly wise, as if you're taking a loan from them, lah.
Yeah. So you go as a cadet, the airline pays for your training.
Yeah, all 100%.
And I think some airlines, they even provide you like a monthly stipend,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
Yes.
So that once you finish your training and start working in the airline, they just deduct some pay.
Deduct their salary from your
And-
salary lah, and then they bond you as well.
Of course, they bonded, which is usually about
10,
6
15
years to 10 years. Sorry, minimum for
Yeah,
cadets.
minimum, 10
right,
years.
Cadet program.
I see. Yeah. So, those cadets who went in before COVID, when COVID strike and they couldn't continue the training, they didn't start working with the airline, even though they were airline cadets. They still had to pay their loans, because now it's no longer free. Now you actually have to take out a loan with a bank.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
It's with the banks, right?
Yeah.
So like you're not dealing with the airlines like how, let's say for example in our national carrier last
Yeah.
time.
I think the airline will give you the offer letter, kan? And then you bring the offer letter to the banks.
Yes.
They will
Correct.
just vouch for you to get the loan, but you are on your own on that loan. And from what I understand, it's not a very how do you say?
It's expensive.
Yeah, it's
Interest is crazy.
expensive is one thing.
High
Because it's
interest
very
level.
because it's risky.
interest loan.
I mean, you cannot bill the bank.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
very
yeah.
risky.
Yeah.
Banks business. I mean, we all know that from COVID, right?
Yeah.
It is quite heavy compared to any other loan, really. So that's one thing to consider. Cadetship.
But I heard somebody that they use parents KWSP
I think now you
to
can,
pay
right?
for the training. So as if he's taking a loan from the father.
Yeah. I think now there's a lot more options. Like even, KWSP,
Mara?
Mara. You
Mara provide
is
we have
coming back,
programs.
I hear.
I think they're coming back.
Yeah.
And then what's the other one? What's the one?
PTPTN.
Yeah.
PTPTN,
PTPTN, correct,
yes.
correct.
But they're not cover you 100%, right?
It's
part of
maybe
the.
not, yeah. Because when I went for when I did my training also, I took student loan also, which was not 100%.
Mm,
It's like I think half, more or less, about there.
yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of the cost, we should really address what the cost is nowadays. So
Mm.
back during your time, the entire course can take up to 150,000 ringgit.
Mine,
yeah.
if I'm not mistaken, is about 175,000 ringgit.
That's-
175.
That's 2000.
2005.
Five.
2005.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's just 3 years after you, right?
Mm.
Wow, it went up.
It started going like crazy,
Mm.
especially during the fuel.
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the fuel prices
Oh,
went
yeah,
up.
yeah.
Correct.
So then they mark it up like really high.
Yeah.
That's on 2012, 2013, right?
Yeah.
That's when I was in flying school.
So I'm thinking yours should be about like 200 over, close to 300,
plus,
right?
Okay, when I went, it was, I think, 285.
Ah.
Three lah.
But while I was there,
Mm.
I saw it went from 285, then the next batch already paid like 300.
Wow.
The batch after that, 300 plus. By the time I graduated, I think it was about 320. Yeah,
Mm.
320,000 in 2014. And now it's only is just been going up.
Yeah,
It's
spend
about
enough time before
you,
you
you
get
can basically
500,000.
yeah,
Yeah,
half
last,
a million.
last I
ringgit.
checked, last 2 years is about 450.
Mm.
Yeah.
Last 2 years,
Yes,
I believe it's getting.
easily 500,000.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah.
Yeah. Easy.
And that's not just the end of it. You have to have more for
Type rating.
yeah, depending on
Oh yeah,
where
that's
you are.
500,000 is only from you started your flying school until you graduated. It's
Correct.
not in the airline yet.
Correct. That's right.
In the airline is
It's
totally
just for you to
different.
get your license.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
something, right?
Yeah. Doesn't mean you can fly anything.
Yeah.
Except for Piper Warrior and Piper Seneca maybe. Or Diamond.
Yeah. So that's the cost. So the return on investment, it's really up to you to plan. How many years does it take to work in the airline and make back 500,000?
Yeah.
I can say the money that I spent for flying school, I think it took me about 4 years in the airline before I could repay. But to be fair, on the 4th year, that's when COVID hit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. But nowadays they also have like, I mean, besides like the app initial that you go from zero to hero,
Mhm.
right? And then you've got like, of course, the slow and steady, flying club, 500 hours and all that stuff. The airlines are also looking at MPL program. I know one airline in
Yeah.
our country is doing MPL program, which is multi-crew pilot license.
Yeah.
Which can be
More expensive, I guess.
more expensive, but it includes type rating, you see.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Once you
Oh,
include
okay.
that rating, it's cheaper.
Yeah, it's actually
I
cheaper,
see.
and the duration is shorter if you include everything. Because for MPL, it's you do like maybe 50 or 70 hours of real flying, single
Uh-huh.
engine, and then you after that it's all simulators,
Simulator.
like
Yeah.
simulators all the way, and you
Oh.
straight away learn airline SOP.
Yeah.
So the program is always linked to an airline. You can't have an MPL program without an airline support.
I see.
Yeah. You cannot be a private MPL student.
Yeah, you can't.
Oh, okay.
So you'll be under an airline and you follow the airline SOP all the way. So by the time you're done with the program, you are like really ready for airline, like you're ready to go online.
Yeah.
And the program, I think the program is good. I think that's going to be the future moving forward.
Mm.
So the only issue now is cost, right?
Yeah.
How do you control the cost? Because if the cost is going to go up, it's
Yeah.
it's like it's crazy.
Yeah.
Mm.
But actually, in fact, that's when I spoke to my colleagues who are flying helicopters. They're saying that for helicopter training is worse.
Yeah, it's much more expensive, right?
It's like 900,000.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, it's still 900,000 now.
Now it's
I
900,000.
see.
So before this was not as bad.
That means it didn't
So
actually
soon it's going
grow
to be
as
millions
linear
plus?
as us, yeah.
Yeah. We'll
Because
be
they were
eventually-
like helicopter generally has always been more expensive than fixed
Yes,
wing, right?
it has always been more expensive.
Yeah.
Correct.
For it to only be 900,000 now, it's honestly.
Oh, it's a lot.
Yeah, only 900,000, 100,000 compared to what they were in the past 5 years. It wasn't as rapid a rise as fixed wing.
Oh yes, definitely
Yeah.
not.
I see.
Fixed wing.
Maybe the demand is not there.
Or is it the fuel?
Not sure. Maybe it's always been like expensive, but it's not. Doesn't increase as much.
Mm.
Yeah, helicopters are expensive to operate,
Yeah.
so that's
Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break before we address the rest of the questions and topics.
all right.
Right.
Thank you for listening to part 1 of episode 1. Follow us on social and podcast for part 2, which will be out soon.